we have to do something. I mean, we can't have roughly 80% of the people locked into prisons because of their addictions, and the big one, number one, over and over and over turned out to be that it was the sugar. And sugar is 9 times more addictive than cocaine. Are you aware of that? It is a drug. It starts out as sugar cane or sugar beet, which is a food, but when they remove everything and refine everything out, nothing is left except the sweetness. It then becomes a poison to the brain. And Dr. Blaylock, you may have heard of, has done a lot of work on looking at what the artificial, the aspartame, which has about 5 different names now. They keep trying to con people into using their product. But sugar will stress the brain to the point of fatigue, the cells, the brain cells, to the point of fatigue. But aspartame, in all of its different names, excites the brain cells to death. Okay, this is why it's called the sweet assassin. It really kills brain cells. And it is falsely put out there that it helps people to lose weight because it doesn't have any calories. We've talked about sugar and how it excites the brain cells to fatigue. However, aspartame, in its many different names, excites the brain cells to death. Do we really want billions of bottles of the stuff, or cans or containers, of this brain killer going into our bodies, when all you need to do to keep yourself in good health is to eat the foods that nourish the body? Drink the things that nourish the body, like good water with fresh lemon squeezed in, or fresh lime squeezed in. Fresh lemon has 52 anti-carcinogenic compounds in it. Whenever you're drinking water, especially in a restaurant, always get fresh lemon to squeeze in, because it nullifies the chlorine, and it also helps the water be better for the body. Let's give it all the help we can, okay? This is where we live. This is where we are in this lifetime of our bodies. So I've been sick and I've been well. Let me tell you, being well is much, much better. I have not been ill except once when I got listeria accidentally at a buffet, and that stuff was pretty dangerous. But other than that, I haven't been ill for 50 years. And before that, I was constantly ill with something and having no idea I was doing it to myself. Sometimes looking on a box, like a cereal box, and you'll see vitamins and minerals in there, recognize that those are artificially added, and the body doesn't treat them the same as it does in the original food. Go for the original food. Go for real nuts, walnuts, pecans, almonds. All of these wonderful, wonderful seeds and nuts are good for us and make a wonderful snack. You can add raisins, you can add banana chips, or you can add anything with them, and it makes a wonderful snack, rather than having a bag of Cheetos or chips or things that are loaded with the partially hydrogenated fat and the bad things for you, okay? Yes, they appeal to the taste buds, but salt and sugar do that. Both of those are appetite stimulants. And I'll tell you a secret, how they found out about appetite stimulants. You know, you smell popcorn popping? Beware of regular popcorn out there now, because it could be GMO. Be real careful about your popcorn. But you smell it, you gotta have it. And that was the first place that they identified the appetite stimulants. Since then, they have made artificial ones, and it's in so many things, because They want you to eat lots of their product because it sells their product. In Europe, I found it interesting that about every block and a half in the different countries, about every block and a half, you would have a fruit and vegetable stand. In the United States, about every block and a half, you have a junk food place. It's everywhere. You could stop at a gas station. It is filled with all of these high sugar, high caffeine, garbage things rather than almost nothing that's actually good for the body. So prepare yourself, prepare the foods, take them with you. It's easy to do. I've done it for years and years and years. It's just a matter of getting in and changing your habits, changing your lifestyle, they say. And it really is a lifestyle because it's not a, quote, diet. It is foods for the energy and health of our body and particularly our brain. And this is what's missing from our children, which crushes me. I've talked to schools. Actually, I will give you an example. In 1982, two things happened that were very dramatic in my life. One, I met and married biochemist Paul Stitt, who lived in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Don't try to pronounce it. And he had grown up on a large farm in Illinois and was interested in world hunger from the age of 10. So in 1976, he had started this marvelous bakery making the breads that they had as much nutrients as he could pack into a loaf of bread. Didn't use preservatives of any kind, didn't use the partially hydrogenated fats and oils, because that's what they use, okay, like in Girl Scout cookies and Twinkies, which I understand are back on the market now. Those things will never, ever, ever mold, not ever. And why are we putting those into our body? Well, I've had a couple of gentlemen that were over 65 saying, at this part of my life, I need all the preservatives I can get. It doesn't work that way. In Vietnam, it was very interesting. When the Viet Cong, the soldiers were killed, they had to be buried that day because they started to rot immediately. American boys, if they were killed, it could be 3, 4, 5 days before they started deteriorating because of all the preservatives that have been. So it preserves afterlife, not for the body, not life. And we need to pay attention to those things. We really trust sometimes too much. If it's on the counter, it's good for us. No, if it's on the counter, it probably isn't good for you, unless it's in the produce counter, unless it's in the whole brown rice, beans, lots of beans. Beans, incidentally, will just blow lead right out of the body. It's a great thing to eat to keep the lead from building up in your body. And where do you get lead? Well, from canned foods, for one thing, although they are covering the solder in the cans, they're covering it with something to prevent it leaching out the lead. But we need to protect ourselves as much as possible, eat as fresh as possible. We're blessed in Hendersonville, North Carolina, blessed with all of these beautifully organic foods being grown. I'm surrounded by them and I love it. I love it. It's not only a beautiful, beautiful place, beautiful people growing beautiful foods. And this is so important to make you feel vital every day. And don't you want to feel that way?